Hello everyone, we are back. This is part 2 of the Pan Am Barcelona 24-hour race. My name is Nick, I'm joining you again. Joe, we're back. Good morning, well good afternoon, sorry. It's good morning still where you are. How you going?
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I'm good. We're back into this. Obviously been a fair bit going on as we're looking through the chat. There's a fair bit of feeling out there as you get with a race of this size. We're back for the last couple of stints, and we'll give you some updates hopefully on how some of these teams have gone through the night and the early morning, and finish off this race.
Yeah, well we talked about yesterday around the racing may be virtual, but the emotions were real, and we've seen some sort of chat replies and whatnot throughout the night. But just to give you a bit of an idea of where the race stands right now, this is our race leader, so it's the Bricks Racing 52 Ferrari that's got Chris Frizzer in there at the moment. He did one of the opening stints of the race. They're currently P1 right now, completed 712 laps, so an absolutely phenomenal effort from those guys. So they are currently leading the race. The Team SMS Porsche, the 93. So this was a car that qualified at the rear of the grid. Had its difficulties. I think it was a disconnect at the start of the race as well, with about 23 hours to go. And they're back up in P2 right now, so they're chasing down that 52 Bricks Ferrari. P3 is Frable Racing. Pascal Petrus is behind the wheel at the moment, so that Ferrari is currently sitting in P3. Then it's another Porsche. This time it's the sister car of the Team SMS 93. So these guys have had a phenomenal run as well. I think when we were on last, I think it was Matt Byrne in the car. They're a 3-driver team. The 301's a 2-driver team, the only 2-driver team. So to be in podium contention right now in a 2-driver team for a 24-hour race is quite the feat. Ali Karudin is currently in the GSR IB Racing Esports 45 Porsche. So they're sitting in P5 right now. That's the first time I've seen him in the car so far this race. Dixon Chen for E1 Sim Sport, the Pan Am Aston Martin, sitting in the top 6 right now as we speak. Ramirez Fisher is behind the very popular Gorillas Racing Team Aston Martin, the 249, currently sitting in 7th spot at the moment. Perhaps the car with one of the best liveries out there. We had a look at that yesterday. The 888 BMW that's got Wayne Morrison behind the wheel again. He's sitting in P8 in that 888 BMW. The 302 Ferrari, so the second Frable Racing Ferrari. Ben Rossi is behind the wheel at the moment. He's in P9, and then the number 69 JP Motorsports. So that's the team of Gage Gonzalez. Chris Thomas is behind the wheel at the moment. Bradley, Alberto Alvarez, and I'm Not Jimmy, currently sitting in P10. And we've still got 23 runners, which I think, Joe, is a pretty great effort considering we started with 31 and we're down into the final 2 hours of this 24-hour race.
Yeah, that is good. We have got a couple of people in the chat, which we'll drag across into the comms. And we'll get Brad in there first. Hello, Brad. Welcome.
G'day. How you going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Interesting race. How was? I know that it rained most of the night. How did that go?
Well, I myself, being the slowest in the team, did not participate too much. I was there for moral support and my jokes. The boys went really, really well. So I do got to call out Gage being a shit cunt. He fucking come out with no forced feedback, done one lap, and then pushed him back into the pits. And but Albie come out, he had no forced feedback, and he managed to do a full stint. So hats off to the LB man. You've done real well.
Had much sleep
So
yet?
the-
have, you had,
that is-
have you had any sleep yet?
What's that, sorry?
Have you had any sleep yet? You're in the Australian time zone.
Oh yeah, no shit, yeah, man. I had
Yeah.
heaps, mate. 'Cause
Oh,
I,
great.
I was just cruising. I was cruising. As I said, I was there for more. I was cutting sandwiches and handing out oranges, giving the boys a foot rub here and there.
Yeah, love it.
Oh, that's great.
But
So,
they've done well as a whole, though. Like we started like 30th or something on the grid, I think it was, and they've just fought the whole way. You know, it was really, really good. I didn't do it. I only done 2 stints myself because basically I'd get on there and I'm sort of holding them back a little bit. So, but hats off to the boys, man. They've done really, really well.
So
yeah, that's good. Really good.
just gonna say, what happened earlier on in the race? I think Gage got in the car. I think this was like right at the beginning. So yesterday, he did one lap. He did a pit stop. Did one lap. Came in and pitted again. What happened there?
He lost his feet, force feedback.
Oh, that was that. Were
Force
you talking?
feedback,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So has
Did
he
he
been?
get that back, or
Yeah.
did he? What was?
Yeah, basically just quit out of the game, joined back in, and magically appeared again.
That's one thing with ACC. There does seem to be those little bugs that do that pop into it, but you just at the end of the day, it's happening in the real world. Mechanical dramas and electrical glitches and bits and pieces. So
Well,
yeah, it's a simulator.
talk about, it's funny you say that. They talk about netcode, right? So at about 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to ring Gage, right, to get him to let him know Jimmy's coming on the next stint. 9 hours later, I get a phone call back. So I don't know. Maybe that's netcode. I don't know. Maybe that's just Gage. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the beauty of a 24-hour race. The field is quite spread out. There's obviously been a few disconnects and DSQs throughout the night as well. But there are only a few laps between the cars at the front of the race. It's kind of what you expect at this point of the 24 hours, and just a matter of getting to the end here. What's the plan for you guys? Is there chances of taking positions, or is it more just trying to make sure you get to the end?
Things haven't changed. I'm still watching them now. We're sitting in 10th. I think there's a possibility there's a good chance of maybe 9th. Chris is picking them up from the last couple of laps we were watching. He was picking up a half a second here, a second there. 8th may be a battle. Maybe if they get knocked track or something like that, we might even have a chance of grabbing the 8 in the last, what are we at now? What, an hour 37 to go. So sort of technically not a long way to go, but based on the track and time, still plenty of time maybe to even get ourselves in the 8th.
Yeah, it's a good performance, especially where you guys started and the dramas through the race. There has been plenty of penalties handed out. Even that was occurring early on. Lots of drive-throughs. More to do with the pit stops than anything else. Has there been any further dramas for you guys in that regard?
There's been we got a couple of penalties here and there, you know. Some our fault, some other people's fault, you know. But basically just racing these things. Really, at the end of the day, we haven't had any major catastrophes, so to speak.
So you haven't been sent into the Shadow Realm at any point during the night?
No, mate, I was there fucking all night, mate. You know what I mean? That's probably why I wasn't doing any driving.
Very good, very good.
No, normally I'm one to partake in a little drinky here and there, you know, and I've been told no drinking this weekend, so I'm not with it as it is anyway, mate. Sober's not a word I usually use on a Monday, on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Well, you'll be able to have one in about an hour and 36 minutes. You'll be able to have a celebratory beer for finishing.
Mate, I'm not even worried about glasses, mate. It's on ice and I'll be drinking straight out the bottle. I'll give you the tip.
Very, very good to hear. Good to hear. So, the hour and 35. So in 30 minutes, there'll be that'll be the critical time that everyone will be able to get to the end of the race. So we'll have a good look at each of these cars and get an idea of where they're finishing up and chances of positions gained or lost, and close this race out, because it's still really good numbers that are on the grid. They're still circulating, and this is full credit. So there hasn't been the server's been alright. There hasn't been any disconnections or anything like that, has there, Brad?
Not from our point of view, no. We've been pretty lucky. Seen a couple of cars go glitchy, but I think by the looks of it, issue at their end, not a server end, because we were running fine, have been running fine. Touch wood, next hour and a half, no issues.
Yeah, that's good. There was a bit of concern about how the server would hold up, but yeah, so 700 odd laps into the race, that's a hell of a number, especially around a tricky circuit like this and the tyre wear that you get, and plus the weather. The couple of images I've seen of the weather during the night looks pretty impressive, and it's tough like that. It's tough driving at night at the best of times. There's like throw a bit of water in there.
Yeah, how was the weather overnight, Brad?
It was it was there, pretty much all night, but at least it was sort of consistent. You know, it wasn't stop start. It was fairly easy to manage, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's funny you say about the laps and how many laps are going. I just got to ask: is there any drug testing at the end of this race? Because there's two guys that are sitting at number 3 in a team. 2 guys, 12 hours each. What the fuck?
That's nuts, isn't it?
Oh, it's out of control.
And especially in this sort of racing, you kind of want to have a spotter with you, but you can't do that with a two-car team. So you almost have to do a triple or a quad stint and have your teammate go and have a sleep while you're putting in a massive stint. So they'll have their eyes hanging out of their head by the end of this race, I would have thought.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, Chris is in there at the moment for you guys. He's trying to make a little bit of ground up on the 302 Ferrari. He's 14 odd seconds up the road. They had a little bit of an off just then, so they lost a couple of seconds. So you guys are looking. Would top 10 be? You'd be pretty happy with top 10?
Yeah, I think probably at about the 12-hour mark, we were hoping that we'd at least get 11 or 10.
Yep.
So we're pretty much on the money where we want to be, but 2 hours ago, I reckon. Don't quote me on that, but we were sitting at 8. So yeah, look, who knows? It's, I think it's anyone's position from 8, 9, and 10, to be honest.
Well, I think a top 10 after 24 hours, considering where you guys started and some of the dramas that you've had, I think would be a pretty satisfactory result and very well earned sleep afterwards as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I have touched on the boys. They've done all the heavy lifting, mate. They've done a champion effort. Really good. Very proud to be on the team, actually.
Oh, love it. Love to hear it. Just scanning through the field here, just seeing who's in the cars. At 15, Lexus up in P14 at the moment. That 21, the Simhaven Motorsport McLaren, that was up the standings earlier on in the race, and obviously they find themselves in P15 right now. Really, that was the disaster struck, wasn't it, early on for the 911 Pan Am Racing Porsche too. Those guys worked their way up into P16, but that, by the looks of things, would have been quite a grind considering where they were about 20 odd hours ago. Who else is in there? The BVR McLaren P17, 666 Speed and Demons McLaren as well, down in 18, so that's Noel behind the wheel there. These guys were looking alright as well. The SOYZ Motorsport, so down there in 19th. These guys 20th. So the Westset Racing, saw that car involved in a couple of scraps in the opening couple hours of the race. We've got Sim Racing Brotherhood, Mercedes, Raven Racing in that Nissan, and then we go down to Sean New, Heart of Racing, Aston Martin 23rd, and then these guys were disqualified very early on, which was rescinded. Did you have troubles with the pit lane exit speed marker? The sign was down. Did you guys have any issues with that, Brad?
Nah, the boys are pretty experienced with that sort of stuff. They're it's not uncommon for that thing to disappear, mate. But yeah, no issues at all.
Nice. We saw a few people have a bit of an issue with it. I think it was the 45 Porsche. I think 3 laps in a row they copped 3 different penalties. So yeah, that marker was causing a bit of a drama. Do you want to go through driver stints, Joe, and give us a bit of a snapshot of where everyone's at? If you're there. Maybe not there. He is. Joe. Maybe he's off doing something else at the moment. But that gives us a bit of a state of the race right now. What's your predictions for the win? You think the Briggs boys can do it?
They've been fairly strong, mate. But again, it's still an hour and a half. You don't know. They're all you got 2 on the same lap, and a couple. You got 7 big seconds. I don't know. You'd have to say either 1 or 2. Currently 1 or 2. You're bringing home the win.
Alright, so Joe's just lost internet, so that's no good for him. Alright, so I just have to wait for him to come back. In the meantime, yeah, we're going to watch this one play out. Less than 90 minutes to go. Frizzer P1. Not much action in terms of closest on the track. Pretty much the 2 closest battles right now. You got Dixon Chen for the E1 Sim Sports team. They're chasing down the 45 Porsche of Kai Rudin as Ali's just heading through there now. So it's 1.4 seconds the gap between those two. So they've got a top 5 position on the line. Who else is out there? And then you've got these boys, Retro Coffin in the Pan Am Racing Porsche 911. They're chasing down the Simhaven Motorsport team, who has the sister car of the 911 Porsche, the 912, just ahead of them. So a little bit of a Pan Am Racing team sandwich there. We'll just see. Alright, I don't think I need to share that with them. Oh, actually, you can see what I can see. Can you see what I can see, Brad?
No, I'm still sitting in the car with Chris, mate.
Ah, right. Alright, so might put out the call. Anyone else wants to jump in? What about you, Nathan Wilson? I see you in the chat on YouTube. You want to jump in with us, Mr. N. Wilson, in the commentary box? We've got Chris Rise. Final pit strategy will be interesting. Lots of cars are off sequence. Tell us more, Chris Rise, because I'm trying to just get a bit of a read on this race and where everyone's at right now. Obviously coming into it after dropping out 20 odd hours ago. But Retro Coffin is in there. Who else do we have? And then Jet Dixon Chen, pretty much. So in terms of lap times at the moment, in terms of pace, 45.5 Karudin, that was his last lap. Pretty much the fastest car on the circuit at the moment is that number 45 Porsche. He's a long way behind Taron in the number 92, the Team SMS Porsche there. So he's got his work cut out for him there. Fastest lap of the race that we've had, a 1:43.980. So that belongs to our race leader, the Bricks 52.
Oh, hello, I'm back.
Oh, he's back. All right.
It's been happening a little bit too much. The internet drops out here. It happened a bit last night. So I'd actually jumped in to the server to see how things were going and was going to do broadcast for a little while, and internet went missing. So yeah, so I've got a few technical dramas at my end. Unfortunately, while we weren't able to get back a bit earlier. There's someone else who's just jumped into the chat. Not racing, but I'm going to pull him in here anyway. Mr. Wilson.
Ah, here he is.
Welcome. Stu Skinner as well, so there's a few people coming in. Stu.
How are we, guys?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good. Been a really busy night in race control.
I've been reading through the comments, and there's a lot of feeling. We were saying in the broadcast yesterday that yes, this might be virtual cars, and it is a game, and it's a hobby, and do put a lot of weight behind it. The emotions are real. It's not a simulation.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you. And we've just been discussing that you're always going to get some people that don't agree with, a steward's call. But it's my first time doing it, and it's been absolutely flat out with over 100 incidents.
Wow.
But there's 4 collective guys sitting there looking at the one incident and all agreeing on what penalty to dish out. You know what I mean? There's no, if we can't collectively agree, then but it's a damn hard job, and it's a thankless job.
I can't thank anyone who does any kind of stewarding enough. It is the toughest thing to do with any of this, to be consistent, fair, and you can never keep everyone happy.
No.
And in the leagues that I'm a part of, it is the same similar arguments, and that there's a lot of, there's a difference between asking for an explanation from the stewards and then arguing with the stewards, and that's what I've seen a lot of in amongst all the leagues, and it's just pure emotion.
Yep.
And there's a lot of feeling behind it. It is one of the things that we do enjoy about this kind of racing, is that the highs are very high, the lows are very low, and there's a lot of emotion behind what's going on, what goes on. Stewards in any league do a massive job, and for you guys doing a 24-hour race, that's a huge effort. That's the thing. But as a driver, you need to take what stewards decide on board.
That's it. 100%. Absolutely agree with you.
And that's
Hey, Stu.
Yeah.
Nice to virtually meet you.
That's it.
Put a voice to the name anyway. So pleasure to virtually meet you. Has there been any common theme throughout? You said there's been over 100 incidents essentially logged. Has there been a common theme amongst anything that you can sort of pinpoint a little bit?
A lot of rear endings, but there's been no malice, you know what I mean? There's just been, because of the conditions have gone wet, dry all night. Well, actually it was wet all night. Just not adapting to the conditions. But, with that many cars on track, you're going to have incidents. There's been a lot of 5 and 10 second penalties dished out, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Basically, unavoidable contact, stuff like that. And you've got to try and spread it 100% over the board so you're consistent. got to be consistent in handing out your
Yeah.
penalties, which I think we've been. You know, it's been a big test, especially doing a 24-hour. But looking forward to getting back to driving actually after this week.
I could imagine. And so, just it's obviously you, but who else is doing it? So we can give them a bit of a shout out as well. Give them a bit.
Gage
bit of acknowledgement.
Gonzalez, he's been in and out. He's been driving too.
Yep.
He's very experienced. Albie, John Cannon, and Pantalonis.
Beautiful. Well, thank you to all of them for providing their time, their expertise, and their commitment to steward a 24-hour race. Where you said it is can be quite a thankless job. So you guys have done phenomenal. So yeah, I'm sure everyone would share the sentiment of a big thank you for all your
Thanks.
efforts.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. As I said, it's been difficult, but not so much difficult. It's been challenging. Just to try and be fair across the board.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part. Is how can you distribute it all evenly? But no, it sounds like you've done a great job so far. So
lovely. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, done a really good effort, guys.
Thanks,
and
Jojo.
look, that same group of people, thanks for putting the race on. It's been, I think, talk for all the drivers and everyone involved, that it's been a great event. It's been well put together, and just unfortunately with a few drivers being able to broadcast too much more than what we have. But just to get in here for the end, in order to make sure we got the start and the end at least, and be able to have these sorts of chats and thank those involved, and getting pretty close to the last hour. Where we'll really delve into the drivers and teams themselves.
Yeah, I think for our first 24-hour we're 700 strong now, in the leagues. Yeah, I've been here since day one, 3 years ago, and it is a fantastic league and fair.
Yeah, definitely. You read through the chat, and it's more about just a bit of raw emotion for a race like this, more so than anything else. It's good to hear that there hasn't been any kind of intentional or any malicious actions through any of the races. So the fact there's still 25 on the grid speaks a hell of a lot for the league and the drivers involved.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks for your time. I better get back to it, and don't hassle Brad out too much with it.
Hey, Stu, before you go,
Thanks, Stu.
you said you were struggling a little bit through it all. Was that around about 12:30 this morning?
I
went to JD's, mate, or how was that?
I went to bed at 1 o'clock and I got back up at 7 again. So.
No, you're a good man.
All right, guys. Thank you for your time.
See you,
Well
mate.
done, mate.
Thanks.
Mr. Wilson, are you in the chat here? No, he's not. So, that was an interesting conversation. It's good to have some of the stewards jump in and give us that sort of update. All of those guys have done an amazing job, as well as some of them driving. So, I think there'll be a few of them. We're looking forward to having a good sleep at the end of this.
So
You not hear me?
go.
Now we've got you, Wilson. Welcome.
Yeah. Well, cheers. I heard Nick yell my name. I was just doing some laundry, watching the race, so I thought I'd jump on.
As you do on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, mate. Absolutely. took the dog for a walk, came home, watched a bit of racing, try to get some livery ideas. You know how it goes.
So you weren't tempted? You weren't tempted to jump into this one, Wilson?
Nah. I was just going to be just a spectator for this one. Just see how it goes. 24 hours is a long time.
Yeah, it is. It really is. There's plenty that can go wrong, and there's recent teams here that'll attest to that. And once you really get into the flow of the race, when you get to probably past the 15-hour mark, you kind of feel the drain of the whole thing on you. So with just an hour and 15 to go, they'll be looking forward to the end of it. But the car out in front has just been absolutely dominant the whole race.
Well,
Um,
that's not the same car that was leading for most of yesterday, though, was it? That was a different Ferrari, I thought.
Yeah, it was. It was the 301.
Yeah, what happened to
oh,
those
it was the
guys?
301.
They
Yeah.
get disconnected.
The Frable Ferraris, so the 301 and the 302. So I think the
Oh, so 301's in third.
yeah.
There was another guy ahead. I thought, I just turned on this morning and he wasn't there. I tried to catch up in the chat, I just couldn't see what had happened. So I thought there was a different...
That's correct, yeah. So 301 was leading, and then we've got the 52. And
Yeah.
that Porsche, that Casagina, has had huge pace early on. That team's done a great fight back to get back to where they are after they had some dramas early.
Yeah, so that's the 93. Yeah, the 93 Porsche.
Yeah. And I heard that is it correct, there's a two-man team in the podium?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
third
301.
place.
Yeah.
Which is just, that's insanity.
Yeah.
I tip my cap to those guys, that's a hell of a race. Hopefully nothing happens until last hour 15, but that's an amazing drive for both of those guys.
It's not just being tired, you'd be physically sore at
Your
the end of that.
your eyes must be burning. Like doing just the 2 hour at Watkins the other night for Ruse. Just for those 2 hours, and then the 2 hours, the eyes are sore. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like, almost triple stinting and then having a short break and then triple stinting and then having a short break. The boys have done an amazing job. And then I heard the rain at night was about 7 hours worth of rain.
Oh wow.
Night driving. So I think that's the guy. All teams have done an amazing job. So to get through that, I think it's give them a clap. It's epic.
Yeah.
I did put my hand up for a Porsche team, but I never got a call back. So maybe I'll jump in the next one. If someone wants to drive the Lambo,
That's the only catch.
Yeah, it's the only catch. You've got to drive the triangle-shaped boat.
Yes. Well, the boat would have been useful last night. At least the rain was consistent through the night, so you can set your tyre pressures at least. You're not going to change anything with the car itself, unless you do want to take the extra couple of minutes of the stop. But the teams have done a pretty good job out of all of this, and on the topic of liveries and your own driving, just give us a quick update on how your driving on PC has gone since making the jump.
It's been great. Like, I don't want to it's always one of those weird things, isn't it? Because obviously I still chat with a lot of the PlayStation boys. And you don't want to be that guy that sort of goes, oh, it's PC, the mecca of the the sim racing. But it is, yeah. It's just got those little bits and pieces that sort of make it a little bit more. I've been happy with my jump over. I think I started to find some pretty solid pace in the Audi, and then I decided to make it more difficult and switch back to my Lamborghini. But finding getting my sort of stride going on that. But no, it's been amazing, man. Like, I've done a few enduros with another league, 6 and 10 hours and stuff, and yeah, it's just got that little bit extra. And like, it's deliveries for me. I probably spend more time doing deliveries than I do actually driving, which isn't the best, but it's fun.
Yeah, but it is such a good element of this
Absolutely.
platform.
And so we're watching one of my favourites right now. This Aston, I think there's a BMW counterpart with him. That has to be one of the best looking liveries. I think I like that one a lot. Just want to shout him out while I'm here.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
What the E1 SimSport one? Talking
Is that
about?
the Aston? Yeah, is it 603?
Yeah. Got them on the
Yeah,
screen
that's it.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a BMW that I saw earlier. I think rocking the same type. I think that look. Yeah.
I don't think.
I could.
I think they
No.
might be out. There's only two. There's only two left. Two BMWs left. The one's the 888 with the beaver teeth. Oh, what's happened to the vest here?
Yeah, he's just had a bit of a spin heading into the heading up towards the chicane there.
Bugger. So now we go. The concentration must be like I know 10 hours with what we had 3 drivers or 4 drivers. You just stay in. It's even when you're not in the car. That's the hard part. Even when you're not in the car, you don't really walk away from the screen. You sort of always connect with what everyone's doing. So like, your brain doesn't really have that rest period. Here he is. Classic golf livery, lovely. Such a brutal corner.
Yeah, it's that bit that's just off camber, just past the apex, and it's very tough to then get out the other side and get on the power.
It tempts you so much, that corner, because you can get into it pretty easily, and you think you've got it, and as soon as you put a bit of power for maybe a little bit of extra steering or something, it just spits you back out. But no, the guys have done amazing. I have to dip my feet in the waters of a 24-hour race soon.
They can be brutal, I'll give you that.
You have to come over and walk the dog. You have to. That's the hitch.
The numbers that we had for this is probably what you would like to have. You don't want to have too big a grid because there's just a little bit too much that can happen. Everyone got through the start really well. That first couple of stints, there's a few dramas with the weather as well. And now it's nice little track's optimum, dry, temps are good, so everyone will be looking forward to getting through the end of this one here. About 8 minutes, and then it'll be the final stint, pit stop size through to the end. The 2 lead cars are on the same lap, which does add something to it, although they're a fair way apart.
Yeah, but I was watching earlier, and the Ferrari pitted. But I think it had a pit before the Porsche, so that's what I'm curious on. I haven't been able to keep up with it as much because the Porsche was in the lead for a short period of time.
The 93.
93, yeah. So the 93, the one, we're watching now.
Yeah.
They did have P1 for a little while, I guess, until I take it had to pit as well. So that's what I'm sort of keeping my eye on. It'd be very interesting to see how the pit strategies work, see if they've somehow worked it or to make it to their advantage the last hour or so.
Well, Doran is in the 93 at the moment. He's lapping it at 146.1 was his last lap around. The 52 Ferrari ahead of him did a 47.4, and the gap was at a minute. And I think it was around about a minute 5. I think was about the length of a pit stop earlier on, which I'd assume they would be making just the final pit stop, so there shouldn't be anything too long in there. Might give us a bit of an indication in terms of where it's kind of at right now. If they've got a chance, the 93 of. We don't have access to all the stint times, the accurate stint times. I've just got the access to once we started, pretty much. So.
Okay. It's gonna be close. I think. Yeah, you said the Porsche was a few tenths faster a lap.
Yeah, it was on the previous one, so they've brought around again. So yeah, the 52 Ferrari did a 47.4, 46.2 to the Porsche. on that lap around, and a 45.7 to the 301 Ferrari behind these guys. So the pace is at the mid 45s at the moment.
That's going to be really close. That's going to be super close. If they can,
Because the 301's a minute 20 behind P2, the 93 Porsche. They're lapping, faster than the 301's lapping faster than the other two cars ahead. So we'll have to. Well, final pit stops will be able to go within about 10 seconds or so. It's a 65-minute stint timer. So as of an hour and 5 minutes, they'll be free to pit for their last stop to get home. So we'll have to see how all the stops come out. But that 93's made up about 4 seconds on the Ferrari over the last 2 or 3 laps.
That's interesting. It's gonna be ultra close. It's gonna be, I think, a great finish. If the top 3 can obviously continue doing what they're doing, it's gonna be super close. The Porsche might have the legs, but who knows? The 52 Ferrari might have their rocket ship driver ready to go.
Yeah, Doran, the 93, just did a 45.7 to a 47 flat from the 52 Ferrari, so he's...
He got damage.
I'm not too sure. I think he might have had a little bit of traffic as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it all plays a part, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a few tenths here and there over, a few cars over a stint. Bunches them up together, but I have to give a shout out to my old, my Sprint Series teammate, Mr. Devine.
Oh, yeah.
In the 911, the boys got disconnected and they're looking like P15, which is pretty solid. Nice little hustle to get back into that.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal from them. The 912 just having a little bit of an issue there. But yeah, the 911 Porsche, retro coffin in there at the moment. Yeah, I think it's about an hour and a half, I think, into it. They had that disconnect.
Yeah.
So, how do you know Matt Devine?
Well, I raced with him in the Pan Am series.
Yep. Yeah, but how'd you meet? Did you meet him through there?
Yeah, he just hit me up one day. I think we just had to sign up and just randomly over Discord just messaged me saying, Audi, do you want to team up?
Yeah, nice.
And great guy, absolute legend.
Yeah.
Younger dude, well, younger than I am. But yeah, no, really good guy. He's quick in the pretty quick in the Audi, and he seems to be pretty at home in the Porsche. I don't know, Retro's he's a Porsche man. You won't get him out of it.
Yeah.
He's also another great guy in the Pan Am community, which most of them are. I shouldn't say most of them. They're all good guys. Funny. They're a funny bunch. So just me and Matty teamed up for that. We had a few unfortunate races where we had a few technical issues. But the ones we sort of put together, we did alright. So it was good fun.
So we can see the 15 Lexus has decided to take their last stop now. So it's Hogenberg in there at the moment. We'll have to wait till he goes through Sector 1 to see if there's a driver swap in there. Diefenbach in the 195 Western Racing Aston. He's down there in 20th right now. That's probably about as good as on-track action goes. But here we go. So final pit stop for the race leader. The 52 Bricks Racing Ferrari.
So I think he's...
There we go. Hits his marks. And this is Doran. So Zach Doran making his way up through, that's turn 12. Let's see. Pit stop 40 seconds at the moment. Still stationary. So we're going to have a change of race lead here. And so Our new race leader is the 93 Porsche, and there goes the 52 Bricks Ferrari. We'll see if there's been a driver change in there. There says Frizzer is in there now. But we're looking at our new race leader. We've got some more pit stops happening now. The 92 sister Porsche of the 93 is in there. The Aston Martin Dixon Chen, the 603 E1 Sim Sport. And they're off and away. They stopped for 33 seconds. The 52 Bricks Ferrari stopped for 33 seconds. Total stop time was 1:06. Dixon, the 603, just did it in 1:05. And then the 92 Porsche as well, the stock standard stop, 1:05.
Just having a look at some of the battles on track. Yeah, the 9112 and 720. So the Merc of the 720 and the 912. That is 4 positions. That's for P11. So they're in a nice little battle. Another close one on track is the 69. So that position's been changed there between those two. Between Bennett's, so Bennett got through on Johnson just then.
Yep.
And then we've got just ahead of them is Thomas and Rossi. They're about 15 seconds apart, so that's for position as well. And actually, Coffin, so Retro Coffin is so that 911. So Hogenberg, Coffin, and Boomer, they're all within, I think, 30 seconds of each other in there as well. So that'll all be full position. I think there'll be a couple of pit stops will shake that up though. That's all.
Ooh, drive-through penalty cleared. The 969. 969. Oh yeah, that was.
Jump back in and see the boys. We're just about ready to do our last driver change. So thanks for the opportunity and calling me in here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brad. Nice to have you in,
Brad.
Also too, because you guys probably don't get told this a lot, but you're doing a fantastic job. Really well run unit, guys. You're doing a fantastic job.
Ah, thank you. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's very much appreciated. Enjoy doing this. It's great to be able to bring this to Pan Am. It's a great relationship between all of us, and it's all a good bunch of people in Pan Am. It's a pleasure to do this.
Yeah, no, you're doing well. Keep up the good work, boys. All
Cheers.
right, enjoy.
Thanks, Brad. See you, mate.
Good luck with the race, mate.
So here's Caruden, the 45 Porsche, making his way in. It's got Fisher as... It's got a yellow flag next to his name, not the P for the pit stop, but he's all done in the 249 Gorillas Racing Team.
That's an odd one, because it never showed up that he was in the pits at all then.
Yeah, I know, it just showed up with the yellow flag on there, so I'm not too sure what's happening with that. All the stops so far are that 1:05, 1:06 total, with a stop time of 33 seconds, so Caruden's doing that at the moment. In terms of the race, this is our race leader right now. These guys will still need to pit, so the gap between the 93 Porsche and the 52 Ferrari is 8.4 seconds. And then further back, the 301 Ferrari is about 1:23 away. So they'd have enough time up their sleeves here to make a stop, come out in P2 and potentially hassle the 52 Ferrari all the way to the end here. So we could have a fight for the lead after 23 hours and 4 minutes. Could come down to the final stint here. This is looking like we could have a pretty decent finish here.
Yeah, that's exciting, mate. That's what we wanted to see. It definitely piques the interest coming towards the end of a race like this with yeah, these cars on the lead lap, which doesn't always happen with a race of this length, especially with no safety car. So green running the entire time for 24 hours. There's no rest, that's for sure.
Yeah, no safety cars, so no chance to just kind of relax for a little bit, other than when you're not driving. But as Brad was saying, I think Nathan, you were saying, sort of you're constantly still looking at the screen as the 302 Ferrari. So Frable Racing, they've completed their final stop. So did the 720.
Oh, they've got a drive-through though.
Oh no!
Devastated.
Oh, that is brutal. That's the 302. That's the 3-driver team. I wonder if that's that end of pit lane speed limit sign. Might have got another one. That's devastating at this stage. So they're 32 seconds up the road from Bennett in the 912 Pan Am Porsche. So we'll keep track of that. So Doran here making his way towards turn 10. Sharp left hand. He's got some lap traffic just up ahead of him. Needs to pit. The 52 Bricks Ferrari has stopped. They're 6.5 seconds up the road. 46 flat was the last lap around for the 93 Porsche. The 52 Ferrari did a 44.9. And Petrus is in the pits as well. And here comes our race leader.
Hustling on the way in.
Yeah, and with Petrus in there as well. And there goes our new race leader. So the 52 Bricks Ferrari moves through into the lead. And stopped. There we go. Drive through for track limits 45. Is that car number 45? Yeah, the Porsche. Oh, that's the GSR IB Racing esports entry. They're currently top 5 right now. They're coming in to serve that penalty. The gap was 4.8 seconds between them and the 603 Aston, and it was about a minute back from them was the 249 Aston Martin as well. So some late race penalties in the final hour of this 24-hour race, and a couple of mistakes catching a few out. These guys had a drive-through for track limits as well, I think, in the early stages. So they're probably going to be able to maintain their P5. So this is Dixon Chen, and there you go, they're all served. So no major issue for them. But in the meantime, the 93 Porsche has completed their final stop. And so that was a minute 4. And yeah, the gap now is a minute between the 52 Briggs Ferrari and the 93 Porsche. And then it's a minute 24 between the 301 Ferrari for Frable Racing in P3. That's our podium right now. Closest battle on the track though is this one here, Casey Bennett for the Pan Am Racing 912 Porsche.
And Rossi just ahead of him, he's just served that the penalty, and they're just under 11 seconds behind I'm Not Jimmy in 9th position. So a bit of a battle in the last hour for the back end of the top 10.
I think you've got to take those positives as well. Top 5, top 10 in a 24-hour race, you'd have to be extremely satisfied with. That's the Speed and Demons McLaren, the 666. They're down in 18th right now. He's flashing his lights furiously at the Porsche ahead. What did he do last lap around? 46.8. and a 47.1 to Bennett. So that's maybe why he's just trying to give him a bit of a hurry up. He's got a little bit more pace, not a significant amount. These guys are 2.3 seconds behind Rossi in the 302 Ferrari.
Just going back in, so one remarkable thing is, so Hasselbrock, 96 laps down, so obviously had some big dramas, but it's good to see them back in there and continuing on. And then even some of these other cars, so the 550 BMW, the 418 Aston, the 28 Nissan, 40 plus laps down, still circulating, still making sure they get to the end. It's good to see. That's be quite easy just to pull the pin, but it's good to see them finishing off.
Yeah, I guess it's like if you think about it, you might do a 90-minute race and you get taken out in the first corner, you'd be like, I'll quit. But these guys have obviously had massive dramas and have still kept on going. So I think even just finishing the race, let alone getting a win or a podium or a top 10, I think is a feat in itself just to finish. So good to see those guys. And the 969 was up there as well in contention earlier on. So I think when we stepped away, they were top 5 for sure, running I think even second. So they've obviously had big dramas at some stage.
Yeah, it's disappointing, and they were right in contention early on. It's interesting to find out what happened to them.
So the lead a minute 3 right now. So the 52 Ferrari, 48.5 minutes remaining. These guys have been circulating for 743 laps now, and they've got a minute lead between them and the 93 Porsche that was disconnected in the first hour of the race, and they've come back. Who's in that team? That is Jean-Sebastian Casagina, Xu Chen and Zach Doran behind the wheel at the moment. So a 3-driver team. There was 4 3-driver teams. Lots of 6-driver teams, 5 drivers, 4, and then the 2 exceptions, the 2-driver team in P3 right now. So that's an even bigger task that they've done. To be a 2-driver team and competing for the podium. They're 11 seconds up the road from the 92 Porsche. This is not for position, this is just a lapped car at the moment. So in terms of P4, it's the sister of the 93. They're lapping a 1:44.8. And the last lap around from the 301 Ferrari was a 45.1, so 0.3. The gap is 10.5 seconds. So we need to chip away with larger chunks than that. With only 46 and a bit minutes left to try and sneak onto the podium as well. That would be a phenomenal effort from those guys. So still the last little bits to play out in this one. Please show lowest standing 2. Alright. How about, who do you want? Katsu 56. Are you after anyone in particular?
You're a man of the people, Nick. I love it.
Well, you just got to do what you got to do, right?
Hey, that's why you're the comms king. No, but it's going to be interesting with these last few guys in the lap traffic, and I think it's going to play a little bit of a roll in it. See if they can get a bit of a smooth run for at least a few laps. Put those times down. Sort of help avoid any slower laps. They all seem to be booking it pretty fast around it with an hour to go in 24-hour race. They're still making great pace.
Yeah, 44.975 was the last lap of the 52, and the 93 did a 44.982. So nothing in it between those two guys. So they're still pumping around at 44s. That's the second slower than their fastest lap. So to be doing that at this stage of the race is quite phenomenal. Oh, we got Manon sliding around. That is at turn 12. Let's see how he's come to be here as we watch the replay. What is the Nick Kramer experience like? Yeah, it's not a particularly good one at the moment. I'm pretty dusty, so just a bit of mindfulness, you know, you got to keep yourself centered and whatnot. But yeah, I'm not feeling the best this morning, but we'll get there in the end. These guys would not be feeling the best either, I can imagine. Let's go from the bottom up, because someone asked for please show the lowest standings. So I'm going to show the lowest standings. So as Joe pointed out, these guys are 96 laps down. So absolute hats off to these guys to still be going around circulating after starting the race pretty strong. The 550 BMW, these guys were disqualified at one stage. They're 49 laps down, and they're still going around excellently. So well done to the 550 BMW of TEN Racing. That is Ed Brown, Neil Martin, and Thomas Lenardis is in the car at the moment. Then you've got Matt Damon in the heart of racing, Aston Martin, the 418 down in 23. They're 43 laps down at the moment. Oh, what have we got here? The Nissan. No, he's alright. So this is for position. This is a battle for position down there in 22nd, 23rd with the Nissan. So Schwert. Let's see who is in. So Matt Damon, Tracy Tanner, Sean New, Zachary Anderson, Joshua Piasek, and Rodrigo Bianchi in 23rd. They're chasing down the Nissan there. That's Mark Schwert behind the wheel. Clemens, Patzold, Cole Davis, and Marvin Heinen is the team there. So they're in 22nd at the moment, getting hassled a bit by the heart of racing, Aston Martin behind. So we might stick with this. This is one of our closest battles on the track. A minute 3 though, just for an update on the leader. They're looking pretty solid right now with 42.5 minutes remaining. We'll just leave these guys for a little bit because no, we will not leave these guys for a little bit, and that is not what that number 28 Nissan wanted. So that's not a pass for position. So it will allow us to keep going. So this is the Sim Racing Brotherhood Mercedes, and they're currently 21st. Ryan Anderson, Mike Patrick, Julian Gray, Dan Matei, Stefan, Francesco Mendel, and Nick Fujikawa. I nailed all of those names, and that was good. So the 75, that was pretty good. I was
You're doing a
impressed.
good job, mate. You're doing a really good job.
Yeah, I was impressed with
I
that.
didn't want to say anything. I was like, damn, this guy is good. He's good.
They are 31 laps down at the moment, so they're 21st. 20th, so Landon Winstead for Wesset Racing, the 195 Aston Martin. They're 29 laps down right now, and that is, they are, where are you? Yeah, there we go. So Landon Winstead, Baylor Gagesden, Aaron Holloway, Diego Romani, Sebastian Diefenbach, and Jim Vassilopoulos. Sorry, Jim. I butchered your name there, but I apologise for that. So they're 20th. Then in 19th is the 298 SOYUZ Motorsport entry. That's Oleg Manin behind the wheel right now. And that is the team of Anvar Osmanov, Evgeny Polikarpov, Dmitry Verzakov, Oleg Manin, and Artem Bazyev. So good work to those guys. Still circulating at the moment. They're 23 laps down. What's going on with Matt Damon? He's coming into the pits. That's all right. This one here, the 666 Speeding Demons McLaren, they're in 18th position. They're 21 laps down at the moment. That is the team of Eduardo Piva, Jake Johnson, and Francis Knoll. So well done to those guys, the Speeding Demons. They're in 18th position right now. And then you've got 17th is Joel Vandervelk in the BBR McLaren, the 331. They're 8.4 seconds behind the 911 Porsche of Rodney Felker piloting that at the moment. They're 20 laps down. And that is the team of 17 is Joel Vandervelk, Ralph Vest, Remco Torn, Dixon Hurst, Toby Luen, and Gus Peters. So that's the 331 McLaren for BBR. Then in 16th position, it's the 911 Porsche. So your mate Matt Devine is in there, Nathan. John Cannon, Sean Vincent, and Retro Coffin. That's hardcore Pan Am people in there, right there in that 911 Porsche. The OGs, yes.
The OGs of Pan Am.
Yeah. So these guys, the 911 Porsche, they are at the moment 17 laps down. So they had that disconnection earlier on. So they've done a fantastic effort to keep circulating and find themselves in 16th position. Then you've got the 21 Simhaven Motorsport. They're in 15th position right now, and that is the team of Sergei Tamara, Julian Buema, Nikola Misababic, and Olaf Wapsenkamp as well. One of my favourite, I'm not going to lie, Lud Flores, he's one of my favourite drivers. I just like him. He's really aggressive. He's pretty fast. I do like Lud Flores in the Lexus. So, and it's a beautifully turned out Lexus as well. They're in 14th. He's not behind the wheel. But shout out to Lud Flores. You're one of my favourites. You're not supposed to have favourites, but he is. Curtis Ruston and Colin Hogenberg behind the wheel right now. So 3-car team. That is brutal for a 24-hour. Great job to those guys. I took a big hit earlier in the race as well. Then Jeremy Eastcott. This is a familiar name. Love this team name. Cheaper than Therapy. They're in 13th position and they're 13 laps down. And it's the team of Jeremy Eastcott, Roger Rodriguez, Braden Henderson, Ethan Joels, Chris North, and Christian Holmes. So a 6-driver team. It's a pretty good idea in a 24 race. The number 720 Mercedes, they're in 12th right now. They are 12 laps down. And that is Turner Johnson, Armand Petrovic, Chris Rise, Eric Lloyd. Those two are always together in team racing. Michael Lee and Nate Roger. So the 720 McLaren, very nicely, Mercedes for the ZR boys. Very nicely turned out Mercedes there as well. Then the 912 Porsche, they're in 11th right now. That car right now is on the lead lap, I believe. No, they're in 11th, but they're 9.3 seconds behind the 302 Ferrari. So the 912 boys, I think I already went through them, didn't I? Oh, no, I didn't. So Alex Ardoin, he opened it up. Christopher Shuffler, Andrew Jashke, Eric Gotsaka, Cassie Bennett, and Vince Smith. The 302, a 3-driver team. We're into the top 10 now. Ludwig Favietz, Ben Rossi, and Julian Blondell. in P10 right now in that Ferrari. So for Frable Racing. P9, I'm Not Jimmy, Alberto Alvarez, Bradley, who we had on earlier, Chris Thomas and Gage Gonzalez in 9th position. 8th position, that's Andre Knapp behind there, one of the best liveries, I have to say. Dennis Mathers, Wayne Morrison, Michael Stoll and Paul Toma in the Triple Eight. So it's been one of my favourite cars to watch. Randall Rodriguez, Casio Guimarães, Daniel Nunes, John Ferreira and Ramirez Fisher. I think this car is probably the most popular team. There was a lot of excitement in the chat for these guys earlier on. So they've done a great job. And I hear, what do you reckon of the livery, Nathan Wilson? You reckon it's all right?
Is that so I'm watching the stream, so it's a bit behind.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay? It's the Gorilla one.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. It's simple, but I love the Gorilla on the side. I think he's done a cracker job.
Yeah.
I think in saying that too, all the liveries, I think the guys have smashed them. I think there's a lot of good looking cars out there. Makes the racing easy to watch.
Yeah, me too. It's it's awesome. That's one of the benefits of PC as well. We'll keep on going through. We've got 6 left. 6. Andre Dixon Chen for the 603 Aston Martin E1 Sim Sports. They're in 6th position. Gia Axlin, Bernhard Bendel. Yeah, Dixon Chen behind the wheel right now. Dieter Santon and Terj Andre Fredrickson. 5th is Regan Herbert for the GSR IB Racing entry, the 45 Porsche. Ali Kairudan, Mitch Hobbs, Fahad Ghafour, Marcus Van Vliet, and Taufik Moen as well. So they're on track for a top 5 position. A 3-driver entry is the 92 Porsche. James Morris, Matt Byrne, and Nigel Tarin is behind the wheel right now. The only 2-driver team in the field, these guys must be masochists. Pascal Petrus and Alexander Kalia, they're on track to take out the podium final position right now. Then you've got a 3-driver team. Zach Doran's in there at the moment, Shu Chen and John Sebastian Casangina in the other seat there. And then leading team right now, the 52 Bricks Racing Ferrari. It's Thomas Pierce in there right now, Skylar Lovenick, Riador Felgen, Chris Frizzer, and Kenneth Porter. So I hope that was a comprehensive rundown of who's who, where they're at, and how they're going. I'll stop talking for a while.
Mate, superb job.
Yeah, really good, mate. That's great.
Absolutely nailed it. Every name perfect. Don't think you'll get any complaints.
I hope not. And if I did pronounce anyone's name, I do apologise.
You're doing a great effort, mate. So just one of the teams which I've been trying to track what has actually gone on is the car 86, which is the car of the G Ligier Esports, the Ferrari, who was leading early on. So that's Xavier Lavost, Florian Borges, Ludovic Defane, Stanis Florent. They disconnected and weren't able to get back into the server and had some other dramas. So they were the car that was leading early on. I've been trying to work out who it was. So that's that Ferrari that was, a lap or so up on the field, maybe even more through the night, that unfortunately disconnected and weren't able to get back.
It's a bugger, isn't it? That would be devastating.
So just in the chat, KB is in there. So first 24-hour race for ZR Boys team, car number 720 on the screen at the moment. We enjoyed it a lot. Very clean racing all around the field. Superb organisation with live stewarding provided almost whole 24 hours. That's awesome. We want to thank the league admins and stewards for a great job today. For us, the race went very well. Consistent pace, no big mistakes. We're threatening top 10 at the middle of the race. It looks like P12 is set for us. So that was KB who was talking about the ZR Boys. That's the 720 Mercedes you can see on the screen there at the moment. So, KB, thank you very much for that little debrief. Feel free to share your anyone else wants to put their insights and how your team's gone so far in this one with half an hour remaining. And it's the 52 bricks is looking pretty good right now. 45.2 was the last lap they did, which was half a second faster than the 93 Porsche. It's going around at the moment. And I think probably the real battle on track right now might be around the P9 and 10. So the 69 McLaren with I'm Not Jimmy, one of our live stewards for this race. He's currently in there at the moment. His last lap around, he did a 48.4, and Rossi just did a 46.2. So the gap's 3.6 seconds right now between those two. So 9th and 10th still up for grabs there. And in terms of the podium, so the 52 has a minute 7 lead. Kalia in the 301 Ferrari there a minute 20 back. And then the 92 Porsche there, 9.4 seconds adrift right now of P3. Last lap around, Kalia in the 301 Ferrari did a 45.3, and then it was a 46.1 to Taron. So
It's going to get pretty close by the end.
Yeah, it's tightening up pretty quickly too.
Yeah. That's going to be spice a little end into the race. Probably what you don't want with very little sleep and 24 hours of racing for the Porsche, but I'm sure they'll handle it.
Well, they always talk about, with the 24-hour race, the test of man and machine. So it's like, the equipment, the stress that you put on your equipment as well is, the equivalent when it comes to sim racing. We've talked a lot about the racing's virtual, the emotions are real, but then, the wear and tear, just the stretching your equipment to the lengths as well. PC's running for 24 hours straight. This game isn't exactly, it's pretty hefty in terms of running capacity, so...
Yeah, well, I need to get whatever equipment 301's using then, because theirs is working overtime.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah. It's insane. I think they've got one of these guys have got a stream on Twitch as well. One of the Ferraris. I can't remember who. It was in the Discord there for driver streams. So, and then just this came through a little while ago, so it is a little bit old, but it was around if there's any incidents that happen in the last hour of the race, they'll be done post-race. So, and of course, if there was anything we missed, please report them. So that was from John Cannon, just advising on any late race instances. The gap is down to 2 seconds now between the 69 McLaren and the 302 Ferrari, and it looks like Jimmy's just got a little bit of traffic that he has to deal with right now. So this could play into the hands of the 302 Ferrari right now. This battle is heating up as we're in the final half an hour, and I'm sure a lot of drivers out there would have been thinking the final half an hour I've seen so far away, and here we are. Just going through the chat here, can't really sort of see anything.
Getting a bit spicy through the chicane here.
So that's
between Rossi and a lap car.
Yeah, I think that's the 298 Aston, so the SOYUZ. Oh wow, that's getting very willing right now, considering lap car. So.
Oh, that was sorry, I just caught up to that. That was a decent little hit.
You can. I've got the stream going in the Discord chat there, Nathan. If that's live, you'll be able to follow along in there.
Yeah, I'm a rookie at this, fellas. You gotta forgive me.
Nah,
It's
you're all
not-
good. Nah, you're all good.
Not on to your guys' level.
No, it's
I don't know if you guys have said it, but no, excellent job that you guys put through. And shout out to I guess the guys at the top of Pan Am, because I know this is not an easy feat to.
hang on, sorry. P3 Kalia,
wow.
the 302, 301 Ferrari. That's at turn 9. Let's see what happened here. We'll see if we can pick it up on the replay. Oh, yeah, the back end just stepped out. He just took a little bit too much curb. Unsettled the car. He's done a 360. Try and have to get that out of the way. Looks like he kept it off the wall, though, thankfully. And that was the 92 Porsche going ahead. So a change for the podium right here. So the 92, we saw it in the replay, was able to sneak through there. And the 301, with less than 25 minutes remaining, have just dropped out of podium contention. So just at turn 9, he just lost the back end of it. And that's Kalia in the car at the moment. And that is devastating. So the gap between them is 11 seconds. That was lapping pretty similar paces as well. So that is incredible.
That's devastating, that. Yeah. It's very, very unfortunate to have that sort of thing happen this late. Feel for them, that's for sure.
Here's the 298 Aston Martin again. He'll be sick of the Frable Racing Ferraris at the moment. He had a little scrap with the sister 302, and then the 301 is coming through. So Kalia, one of the only 2-driver team, he and Pascal Petrus running in podium contention until that slight mistake at turn 9, and that has cost them dearly. It's cost them a potential podium step right now. And still, what a fantastic effort from the 92 and the 93. So the 93 in particular, as they were disconnected within the first hour, so they've come all the way back to be second outright, and then for the sister 92 to be on the other step of the podium with them is a phenomenal effort. Oh, it's heartbreak for these guys. Just 2 drivers as well. Last half an hour, and it's so horrible. Never like to see that. The 302, we were just watching this little battle sort of unfold. It's still 2 seconds the gap right now between the 69 McLaren and the 302 Ferrari. The last lap around, Jimmy did a 46.8. Rossi did a 46.3, so 1.6 seconds the gap. Ooh, Hogenberg, what's happened here? It's the 15 Lexus, that's at the chicane there at 14 and 15.
He stopped.
Yeah, let's see on the replay what's happened here. Wonder if this might be an equipment issue.
Almost looks like he just pulled over.
Yeah. We'll go back to live pictures in 2 seconds. Here we go. And he's going again. Alright. In the meantime though, Rossi is less than a second the difference between him and I'm Not Jimmy. Drive through for track limits. It's the 603. That's Dixon Chen. They're currently circulating in P6 right now, the 603 Aston Martin. So drive-through penalty, the gap between them and Fisher is, I think that will be alright because the P7's 8 laps down, Dixon Chen's 5 laps down, so that's not going to have a massive bearing on their race. However though, this is a big bearing on the race of the 302 Ferrari. It's all over the back of Jimmy. What do you reckon about this livery? This is Nathan Wilson.
I've been trying to figure out what it is, and knowing, like, I was expecting more pink from a car with Jimmy in it. I think it looks sick. I love it. I still have no idea what the pictures of the car, what's on the car, but no, how can you hate it?
And, they make a little bit of contact. And he's gone around. Almost, no. He's managed to keep... he almost hit his teammate.
He's in a bad spot.
Yeah. He's got to be careful he doesn't get disqualified for going backwards.
Oh, he's done that well, hasn't he?
Oh, he's turned it around again. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
He's lost the position to Bennett then as well, so that's 9-12 moved into the top 10.
So the two Frable Racing Ferraris in the space of minutes have both had race-altering events happen to them. First it was the 301. They drop out of the podium position, and now B. Rossi was contending for P9, but is going to find it difficult to maintain a top 10 finishing position. They're 17 seconds now behind Bennett in the 912 Porsche. Boomer is coming into the pits, and this is the Porsche that I was speaking about that they're chasing. So the 912, I think, would be pretty happy with a top 10 finish here for Pan Am Racing. The team of Casey Bennett's in there at the moment. So Ardoin did the earlier stints, Shuffler, Jashki, Gottsacker and Vince Smith. So be pretty happy with that, you'd have to think.
Definitely feel for Carlia there in fourth. Both those drivers doing the stints that they have, they deserved a bit of reward for the amount of effort they put in and the stints they've done. It's unfortunate, but part of it. And it's just seems to be struggling a little bit, just taking a lot of the curve around the circuit. Just going to be wary going this late into the race. You don't want to get any track limit penalties with less than 20 minutes left.
Was that a drive-through? Like this thing pop up for P6?
Yeah, that was Dixon and Chen. That's been there for a little while, or is they pitted?
Dixon Chen. Yeah, so they got the drive-through penalty next to their name at the moment. So this is Vanderveld. He's only 1.5 seconds down off Falco at the moment, but he's 20 laps down. Not too sure if he'll be an on-track, an overall position change, but just having a look at the lead right now. Mitchell Weston in the chat. How are you, Mitchell? Hope all is well. What have we got? So less than 20 minutes left. Pierce in the lead, a 45.942. That last lap, it was 0.3 faster than Duran in the 93 Porsche, and Dixon Chen just serving that penalty, so that won't alter their position, but yeah, going to rank them out of contention for a top 5, that's for sure. As we're looking at Bennett there in P10 right now, but yeah, this is looking, the Brix 52 Ferrari is a minute 12 up the road from the 93. So that's a pretty phenomenal effort to get both cars, to the 93 and the 92, to get both cars on the podium. Absolutely phenomenal effort from those guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if there is any ladies in there, but if there is, so be it. Women do sim racing as well, so it's just a male thing. Vandervelk is inched closer now to Felker. Pan Am Stalwart. Who else is out there? Who's pumping laps in? It's Pierce, 45.5. No one else really coming close to that pace right now. Jimmy! Oh no, what happened? And I saw a yellow against the 301 too. Let's see what happened here. He's got the 302 Ferrari behind him, so he must have had
No, that's the other Ferrari. That
Oh,
one.
that's the 301.
Oh
No.
That's blue flags.
Yeah. Oh, the Frable Racing Ferraris, they've been in all sorts of trouble at the end of this one. So I'm not Jimmy though. This is 4th position right now. So he's got Bennett in the Pan Am Racing 912 Porsche. Trying to go around the outside. That is the long way around through turn 1. It is on right here. Jimmy in 10th. Trying to scrap another spot from Bennett in the Porsche up ahead. Final quarter hour coming up in this one. P9 and 10 undecided. Race is under control right now from the 52 Ferrari. They're in the lead. The 92 and the 93, the SMS Esports Racing team, taking out the other 2 spots on the podium. Herbert is hunting down Kalia as well in the other Frable Racing Ferrari, the 301, which you can see he's behind Jimmy here at the moment. So this is the situation on screen. So Jimmy's in 10th. And then the 45 Porsche behind him, he's 2.8 seconds back from Kalia, who's in the 301 Frable Racing Ferrari. So they're looking to get themselves up into P4 right now. But he's going to have to clear Jimmy in the meantime, who's scrapping it out with Bennett. So a tricky little situation to traverse in the closing minutes of this one. And that is the 93 as well, just up ahead, the black Porsche up ahead, and there's the Frable Racing Ferrari too. Let's see what happens here between the 45 and Jimmy. Send it down the inside. Pretty textbook move. We've seen that happen many, many times on the stream. So he gets past. So he's chasing down this man here, Kalia, the 301 Ferrari, who unfortunately dropped out of podium position about 20 odd minutes ago.
I think there's a lap between them though, but see what the stewards come back with and have a look at that incident
yes.
at the hairpin.
Yep. No, you're spot on, Joe. Sorry, I missed that. Anyway, it'll give us some on-track action. Van der Velk. This is the closest we've seen him behind the rear of the Pan Am 911 Porsche. Falca in there at the moment. And less than 13 minutes left in this 24-hour race for Pan Am Racing. Been a phenomenally run event. So we had Stu Skinner on earlier about the life stewarding. So that's a massive, massive commitment. The amount of drivers that we've had as well, the amount of teams, the amount of people involved, and then having to organise it all virtually as well, you know, or by text messages or video calls and whatnot. It's a huge, huge effort. So I think everyone involved needs to really be congratulated for putting on such a great event. And we've got still 25 teams, still 25 cars out there right now. We started with 31, so to lose 6 over the period of 24 hours, I think is an absolutely phenomenal effort. So as a credit to everyone involved, you can see the blue flags being waved there. And this is Damon and Schwert down there in 22nd and 23rd, the 418. Trying to go around the outside of turn 10. Seen plenty of action through there as well. So we've got a couple of little spicy battles to bring us home for the final 11 minutes and change.
It's great to see a GTR there, isn't it? I don't know what it is, but it's always good to see a Nissan on the track.
Yeah, it is. It'd be handy if they brought out an updated GT3 car for this.
Oh,
So,
amazing.
would be very popular, I would say.
Well, we have our update coming soon. Little bunnies around the team, because you never know with Kunos and how soon is. So, be interested to see what they come up with.
Their biggest update ever or something like that, wasn't it? Isn't that what they said?
Yeah, it's what they claim, but I think Joe's putting out in the chat that it's probably just going to be the size of the download.
I did see that. I had a good chuckle to myself. I thought that was a very, very sharp comment. I liked it.
He's an iRacing kid now, so we can't, he won't let us just play our ACC.
It's all racing. It's all racing. No discrimination.
Yeah, I've got love for all of them. They've all got their positives and negatives. They're good for all of their different uses.
No, absolutely.
If I want a GT3 car, I'll come to ACC. If I want to drive something different and a few different tracks and a V8 supercar, I'll stick to iRacing.
It has tempted me a little bit, because I know they've got the touring cars and it's something I enjoy racing on AC. So, who knows? Maybe one day I'll come to the dark side.
I'm not a big fan of pay racing, but purchasing each track and car. But at the end of the day, you pay for the DLCs in the game with ACC anyway.
Yeah, and I think I just tick it off as just the same as going to the movies. You're paying for a bit of entertainment.
That's correct. Yeah.
And you pay for, I guess, what you want, and you just have a bit of a play around and have some fun. And in saying that too, there's this little group of cars here is looking pretty good on track. Is this all for position?
I don't believe so. So that's 16th, 17th, and 18th. The 331 McLaren is down 20 laps, and the car behind is down 21. So not necessarily for position, but they're still racing out there. It's still racing nonetheless. And we've just got a car that's gone the last lap, the fastest lap, the 969 McLaren, currently P25.
Wow.
Just pumped in a 43.850. So in the final 10 minutes of the race, Mitchell Weston pointed that out in the chat there as well. So very impressive from that's Hasselbrook, for the GTMR Barcelona 969 McLaren. Just up ahead of these guys that we've been looking at. Herbert is less than a second now. The gap between him and Carlia in the 301 Ferrari as well. So I don't think this is for position. The 45 Porsche is down 2 laps, and I think the 301's on the current lap, is on the lead lap. So nonetheless, though, you'll still want to race it out to the end. Regan Herbert.
Right, mate. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
7 minutes away from the conclusion of this one. It's the 52 Bricks Ferrari in the lead. They've got a gap of 1 minute 16 right now over the 93 Porsche and the sister car of the 92 as well in there. So SMS Esports are looking good for a solid result here. A podium finish would be phenomenal, and yeah, as mentioned, started at the rear of the field, had a disconnection as well in the first hour, and to battle back to be on the podium and only 1 minute 16 off the lead, I think, after 24 hours is just a phenomenal effort from those teams and all the drivers involved there. There's the 93 just up ahead. What do you reckon? What do you reckon of the livery of the this one here, Nathan Wilson?
I love how I get the livery questions. Which one? The Porsche?
The '93 Porsche. Yeah.
I think it looks good. It's probably not something that I like it. I like all different stuff. I think knowing the time and effort that goes into them, and I know those guys pump out some absolute cracker liveries.
Yeah.
I do believe on the Discord, I think they're only was it Shumi Skins?
Yeah. Yep.
So the guys are. I'm an amateur, but no, I think it looks fantastic. And then have the sister car in the red, rocking the dragon on the side.
Yeah.
I think it's very flash, but just even with the basic ones, knowing the time that goes into them, you just you sort of respect anyone that sort of gives up. You know, you think it takes half an hour to throw some stuff on it, but a day goes past, 2 days go by, and you're still fidgeting with it. So no, they do a cracker job, and I said to look good and be fast. No, I can't do that. I have to look good and be slow. So, but definitely tip of the cap to those guys. They started last, did they not? Or close to
29th.
last?
29th.
And the disconnect.
Yeah.
So, what a race by them.
So this is.
I remember when I used to play cricket that even if you couldn't make any runs, at least try and look like a batsman. So I think it's a similar deal here, isn't it?
I remember when I first started playing golf, they said, "Look, if you can't play golf, at least look like you can." So I think that's
it's very good.
In the basketball world, we had a saying for guys like you. All the gear and no idea. After mine. Would source you out straight away.
I was just in it for the sneakers. That's all.
Man, I'd say I had a pretty large collection myself. I've dwindled down to what I would consider small, but some might say it's decent.
What's small?
Oh, let me put my head around the corner. I don't know, 30, 40, 50 pairs.
Okay.
My God.
That's about where I'm at the moment. I'm about 70.
Okay. That's a bit of a stick. Did not know this. I know we've got a race to commentate, but what's your go-to?
I like ones, like Jordan ones. So I don't mind rocking my breads every now and then. I've got the royal blue, but the royal blue ones I can't bring myself to wear them. I've got so many that I've never worn before. So
you're one of those guys. Rocky kicked, Nick. Rocky
I
kicked.
know.
Choose to wear it. I skated in my black toe ones.
No.
You're from Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not wearing one of those guys.
So, no, I don't know. Just it got a little bit out of hand there for a little while. So
Yep.
whittled down. But I'll probably wear my ones more than anything. I've got a pair of white cements that I've never put myself to wearing. It's the 52, just squeezing through there. So the race leader just dealing with a little bit of traffic here to round out this one. So the team of Thomas Pearce is going to be bringing it across the line for the team to end this one. But yeah, Skylar Loverink, Riorda Falcon, Chris Fraser and Kenneth Portis II. These guys have done a phenomenal job, and they're about a lap and a half away. So the next time they cross the line, that will be the final lap that they're going to endure on this 24-hour journey. So it started 24 odd hours ago, and we are here. We are about to begin the final lap. These guys have been fantastic. They were up in contention in the first couple of hours. I think Portis the second and Frizzer did the first couple of stints. And they held it down. I think they handed it over to Loverink for the third stint. And they've obviously been able to keep their nose out of trouble.
Give it all you can.
And they find themselves right now leading the pack on the final lap of this 24-hour race. These guys have about 15 turns remaining after this one, and about 4.5 kilometers away from completing the 24 hours of Barcelona for Pan Am Racing. And we'll bring you all of the finishes as they all cross the line. So Pierce making his way through turn 4 now, and bringing it home. And we started in gloomy conditions and we're ending in gloomy conditions. We've had plenty of rain. I think it was 7 hours straight of rain throughout the night. We started in the rain, it left, it came back again, and we've had everything else in between. We had some sunshine there. So the clock has gone 000, and they're just going to make their way for the final time through turn 10. Only a handful of turns left before they'll take the line. And a great effort by all involved. As I mentioned, Kenneth Portis is second, Chris Frizzer, Riorda Felgen, Skylar Loverink, and Thomas Pierce is going to get the moment of glory where he will take the car over the line. He'll take the checkered flag, and congratulations to Bricks Racing for the 24-hour Pan Am, flashing the lights. Rightfully you should. They are race winners. Congratulations to all of those guys involved. What a massive effort. That's huge to take out victory here. Congratulations to the 52 Ferrari. Phenomenal effort from those guys. In P2, they're going to be hassled all the way to the end. This is the Porsche, the SMS 912 for ignoring driver stint time. Alright, so they get a little penalty there at the end. This is Doran. He's behind the wheel now. He with Jean-Sebastian Casangina and Xu Chen. He's got the 45 Porsche behind him right now, and they're going to run each other all the way to the very end. This is P2, Casangina, Chen and Duran in the 93 Porsche. They had a disconnection in the first hour. They fought back and they take out P2. Congratulations to Team SMS for their podium position. The sister car in the 92 took out P3, the final spot there. The two-driver team, the 301 Frable Racing, Pascal Petrus and Alexandra Kalia in P4 there, just lost that podium in the last sort of half an hour of the race with the incident at turn 9. The 45 Porsche in 5th, and then you've got the results there on the left-hand side. We've done a fair debrief through them already, but it's been victory for the 52 Bricks Racing Ferrari. The 93 and the 92 SMS team take out the podium, and that's the rest of the field all through there. Hasselbrock took out the fastest lap of the race right at the very end there. But 25 finishes, 31 starters, and what an event. The chat there you can see on the right hand side of the screen, pretty active right now. But yeah, Joe, did you have any words that you wanted to cover?
Yeah, congratulations to car 52, 93 and 92 for the podium. It's an awesome job after 24 hours. Not sure what happened to Bennett. It might have been for he got a drive through right at the end. Might have been for track limits. So they've actually moved out of the top 10 after all of that last stint. It's such a great job to get by car 69 and car 302, and the penalty at the end on that last lap has just dropped them back behind all that effort. So that's that's devastating. Yeah, there's going to be a few hard luck stories out of that one, but congratulations to everyone who's finished that race, and congratulations to Pan Am for putting on the event. Stewards, everyone involved. That was great. It's really good. And thank you for jumping here into the comms and broadcast there, Nick. And thanks for joining, Wilson. And we look forward to the next lot of racing that's coming up.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I know that I had a ball. This was great fun, great to be a part of. Thanks, Nathan. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, everyone else who's come in. Massive shout out to all the organisers, all the stewards, and everyone else that was involved in making this such a great event. All of the drivers as well. You know, massive commitment from everyone. All the pre-race time, energy, and effort as well. So, yeah, awesome effort. Fantastic event. Great stuff. Looking forward to doing it all again one day. But I think we'll go back to sort of resume normal activity on Pan Am, and we've got the Race on Oz boys kick back off tomorrow night at Monza. So, on behalf of everyone, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your weekends. And once again, congratulations to the 52 Ferrari for taking out the victory for Pan Am 24. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.